I felt it was really nice. It is very curated. It's one of the only locations that I've toured so far that has the capability of taking someone with a G tube that could need a Hoyer lift, which is one of those mechanical lifts to take somebody in and out of their bed or their chair. And a lot of places, once you get to the need of a Hoyer lift, they will tell families that they can no longer care for their family and you've got to find some other place to go.
Hi everyone, I'm Lexie Callies. Do you feel the squeeze of caring for an elderly loved one and school-aged children? Then welcome to the Sandwich Stories. Let's dig in.
Hiya. Hi, everybody. It's Lexi with Sandwich Stories. I hope you're having a really great morning. It is still 90 degrees here in Texas, and I am done with the summer, but the world has different plans for us. I would love for it to be at least 80, maybe next week, they say. They say. I don't believe it, but we'll see. Anyway, so like I've said in the past, I'm on this tour of touring facilities, and there is a new one that I toured and want to talk about because it is an interesting concept. It is owner operated, so it is not a large corporation that owns this facility. The gentleman has multiple locations and he's really well respected within this area and within the community. So he has a couple locations in Dallas. He has another one in farther North Texas. And then he has another location in his home state because it's his home state and his home city. So he has a location there. And he is taking over a facility that was here in my town that was foreclosed upon and actually closed down by Health and Human Services because it was a really bad owner operator that used to own it. So the gentleman I met with and toured with actually knows what he's doing. He's well respected. He runs a really good, clean operation. And so he's taking over this location. And it is maybe a 5-minute drive from my house, which is lovely. The reason why I say it's different is because it is technically three different buildings. One has a little offshoot that would make it the third building. But it is two buildings that almost look like, they don't look like office buildings. They look like large homes. And within it, it's a big square, and the rooms are all on the outside of the building, and there's only 16 of them. And then there's the heart of the building that has the kitchen, family style dining, so two large tables, and then a living room area, like two seating areas that back each other. So you could have one that's like sitting and you could sit and talk to somebody. Another one you could have recliners and watch the football game. And then across the street is the other building and it will have the same setup, but that one has the commercial grade kitchen in it. And that is where they will do all the cooking. The location that I was able to tour because it is actually furnished and ready to go. It has a kitchen in it, but not a commercial grade kitchen. So like if they wanted to do cookies or a cooking demonstration, they could do that in that building, but it's not set up to feed the whole facility. So I felt it was really nice. It is very curated. It's one of the only locations that I've toured so far that has the capability of taking someone with a G tube that could need a Hoyer lift, which is one of those mechanical lifts to take somebody in and out of their bed or their chair. And a lot of places, once you get to the need of a Hoyer lift, they will tell families that they can no longer care for their family and you've got to find some other place to go, which I think is really cool. And partly I think that's because it just takes more training. It takes more staff and time to be able to move someone with a Hoyer lift. And so I just think that the facilities just don't want the liability and they just don't want to do it. So they just say they don't do it. And God forbid your family member have to need one. They have to go move. So now you're dealing with someone who needs extra help and is probably going through a really, really hard time in their life, and their family is too. And then you have to say, oh, sorry, you got to go find someplace else to live. Let's just add that stress to it. So I'm really glad that this location allows for more advanced and um, has the capability of caring for people that need some extra care. Because the G tube is not easy either. That's a lot of work too. And I'm sure there's plenty of facilities, yet again, through liability and through the lack of training and the lack of staffing that has the right level of training, uh, they wouldn't take someone with a G tube either. So that's really neat that they allow this. It is more expensive, but like I said, it's only 16 rooms per building. And as far as I know, none of them are doubles. So this is literally 16 people living in the building, and that's it, which is really great because this facility also has really low ratio. So you're looking at like a 1-to-5 ratio. So with 16 people, you could have 4 caretakers in there for 16 people. And I think that's amazing. And their overnight staff is awake. It is not a sleeping staff. It is an awake staff. I think they have at least 1 or 2 people in each building overnight. So yet again, even the overnight ratio is the same ratio as what some facilities have during the day. So that is awesome. Not all of the rooms have their own bathrooms. Some of them, well, not all of them have their own full bath. That's what I should say. Some of them have a full bath, shower, all that kind of stuff. Some of them just have a toilet and sink. So they have a half bath, which is fine. When I toured it, I felt that depending on if my mom were to live there, where her room would be, if it were close to their spa bath, which is their larger bathroom that has a full shower in it also, I would be okay with my mom having a half bath. She has that now, and she has to go across the hall to use the shower there at her facility now. So I would be okay with that if she were to live at this facility. And I say that because one, she's used to it. She needs the help. So to be able to have that space and for the caretakers to go in there and help her with her shower is fine with me. So, like I said, they have a lot of really good things going for them. They, all their pricing is 100% included. So the price that I received is what the price will be. There's not any upticks for incontinence care or showering or anything like that. All of this is included in the price. And like I said, it is a really, really well respected location. And just looking at the paperwork, make sure. Yeah. So, like I said, they have, it's technically 3 buildings. One is actually connected by a hallway, so, and a pass through. So it looks like 2 buildings, but it's really 3 buildings. And they will have the first building opening up soon because they're waiting on their licensing in the state of Texas. Just so y'all know, if you do not have to be state licensed if you have at the most 3 people living in your facility, right? So that's something to think about. Like if you go to a facility and they say they're home care and they only have 3, so they could have one, they have to have 1 person living there. So to be a facility that needs care. So 1, 2, or 3 people, they do not need licensing. So think about that. After the 3rd person, they have to have state licensing. So if you walk into a facility and you're like, oh, this is so nice, my family member will be the 3rd person and they will have all this care and all this, there's no state oversight. There's no state licensing. So think about that. That's scary. So like I said, this facility is just waiting on their licensing. And because they are in good standing with the state and they have multiple locations, They they're 100% guaranteed to get their licensing, and I believe it should be coming in January. So like I said, this gentleman has one building ready to go for people to move in. It's beautiful. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful, bright, clean, really high ceilings. Everything is great. They have to do some yard work, things like that. And the owner there are apartments in the back of the building, and through a little gate. And the owner of this facility will be living on site for quite a while to make sure that the facility gets up and running and things that have to happen with that. So I think that's really amazing. So you get to have the owner there for a while. He will have his own staff coming in, and they will take over, and it will have their fingerprints on the facility, not his, but right now it's his, because he's living there. So that's pretty neat. Like I said, then they have another directly across the street is building 2. That one is the one that has to have the commercial kitchen. Sadly, the person who owned it before, when they got foreclosed upon, took everything. Took it all. They got foreclosed upon. They got really upset. They took everything. So they took all the appliances. So this new owner has to replace all the appliances, all the commercial grade kitchen stuff, everything. He even took all of the air conditioning units. And actually, he felt that there was one air conditioning unit left and a giant TV that were the previous owner actually took all the TVs also. There was one really big TV and one air conditioning unit left, and they think it's because he didn't bring a big enough truck. That's the only reason why they were left behind. But the bank did replace all the air conditioning units, so it has wonderful new running AC. So that's great. The rooms are not huge, but that's okay. I when I toured it, like I said, there are a couple rooms that were really big. Well, really big is subjective. And so if I look, the largest room in the facility is 300 square feet, just under 300 square feet. And that room is not available. But in the building that I toured, the largest room is 277 square feet. So it's not massive, but it's really, you hope that your loved one is not spending a ton of time in their room and that they're out and they're doing activities and socializing. That's what I want for my mom. So to have a room that's not really big is okay with me. She sleeps in a high-end twin size bed. And so that doesn't take up a lot of space. And really, as long as she has her bed, her recliner, if I can get another chair in there, like a club chair in there, I will, and a TV. So that's kind of how I would set it up. If someone said you can't really comfortably get a second chair in there, I would say, okay, that's fine. But my mom has what she needs, and that's what would make me happy. And then, like I said, it has a closet and her own half bath with a, what else did it have inside of the half bath? Just a medicine cabinet. Yeah. So medicine cabinet, closet for her clothes, nice, good size room, beautiful window, nice and bright light. It works, right? So like I said, for me, I would like for my mom to always be out of her room, not hiding and participating. Now, there are times where it's just too overstimulating and she needs time to herself. So to be able to go in her room and watch American Pickers, because that's one of her favorite shows, or golf. She does love to watch golf. She used to golf a lot, so she does like to golf or watch golf. So she can sit in her recliner and relax and watch golf or American Pickers. That's what she likes. So they allow pets, and it is on a case-by-case basis. That would be $500. That's the extra fee for the pet. And I'm sure they're trying to make sure that the dog or cat gets along with the other residents, and that if one resident already has a pet, does the new pet get along with the existing dog or cat? There is a move-in fee. There is no med management fee. There is no incontinence fee. All of this is included, but there is a move-in fee of $4,500. That tends to be standard for a lot of facilities. There's actually more where my mom lived, which I thought, or my mom lives now, like it was more than $4,500 as administration fees. So that was fun to pay. And like I said, this ranges anywhere depending on the size of the room and where it is. It can range from $9,975. Oh wait, there is one that's $8,975. That is the least expensive one. Yes, so $8,975 all the way to the most expensive at $11,475. Some of that is because if you have a full bath, the room is more expensive, frankly. Yet again, if my mom were to move in this location, I would probably pick a room without a full bath, and it would save her about $1,000 if she were to move into this location. So that's okay. I could do that. And like I said, so they have a lot of things going on for them. They are really well respected. I know other people who have worked with them and stayed with them and lived with them in their other locations, and it's an up and up business. But like I said, I like that it's owner operated. I like that it's small. I like that it's more curated for your loved one, and that it's not a lot of people, like I said, and it's not just memory care. They're actually caring for your loved one for what they need. And like with my mom's disease, you never know what you're going to get with her. And it looks like memory that she needs memory care. And other days she does not. Like the other day, she was having a tough morning, but then I got some food in her and we went out and we had to go to a doctor's appointment and she got her latte. She went to the doctor, which meant she got a latte. It's her adult lollipop. She loves it. And she came back and she was alert, making jokes, having a good time, could respond to everybody, was just like her old self. And so sometimes it's really difficult, and that maybe she doesn't need the memory care. Maybe she needs assisted living. Yes, she does need help. She does need the assisted living. But maybe being around people who are not being treated for memory care problems would be really good for her. And she could have conversations with people. Now she'll have her days where she sounds a little silly or incoherent or talks about things that aren't really going on or things in the past. And that's okay. But I really find that when she's in it and she gets into the swing of things, she's good to go. Like I said, it's kind of like my cleaning lady and her previous cleaning lady would say, it's just like it's a flower. No water, it's sad and wilty. With water, she's beautiful and perky and upright. So that's what we're hoping. So like I said, I toured it. I really love this location. I think it's great. I like that it's close by to my house. So it could possibly be in the running of someplace I would consider moving my mom to. The only thing I would do is wait until it is full licensing and make sure everything is on the up and up when it comes to the state, because that to me is really important. So yeah, that's where we are with that. And like I said, I think it's great. They said they bring in entertainment. They bring in, this is not their first rodeo. So, they do not have a tiny horse on property like I talked about with one of my other properties. And he actually made a comment like that because I know that he realizes that one of my other places I toured, is similar to his business and his philosophy and setup. And so he did make a comment. It's like, no, we don't have a tiny horse on property, but we do bring in people. And sometimes we bring in miniature horse and do equine therapy that way. We just don't own the horse. So I thought that was a little funny comment for him to say. And like I said, when I did the tour and I have done all the interviews, I've met with the owner. I am actually going to go do a second tour with the people who are going to be running the operation, the day-to-days, once it is all up and running. So I'm interested. I'm really excited to meet those people, and I'll report back if I have any updates. Okay. All right. So song of the week. I picked this because I hear this song a lot because it's on one of the radio stations I listen to a lot, but it's always in the background and you really don't listen to the words all the time if it's a song that you have heard a lot. And then I was really listening to it. Was it a stop sign? Really long stop sign. Oh my gosh, it was so long. The stoplight was so long. Oh, the train was coming by. That's why it was so long. Yeah, so I was just kind of, and I could actually like focus and I was listening to the song and it was Dave Matthews Band, You and Me. And I really do love this song because it is the song about a couple and living their life together and being the best for each other. And it really reminded of me and my husband and how we are, and that I would hope most people could find a relationship the same way. So, yeah, You and Me by Dave Matthews Band is the song of the week, and I hope you enjoy it. All right. Okay, guys. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Sandwich Stories. I really hope you learned some new things and enjoyed it. If you did, tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your sister, tell your dad, tell everybody you know to also listen. Maybe they'll learn some new things, how to help each other out. And find us at Sandwich Stories Podcast. Thanks so much.